Hello everyone. In this session, I will cover how to use ALM properly. ALM is a HP tool. ALM stands for Application Lifecycle Management, and this tool is used for manual testing as well as automation testing. Mostly used for manual testing. Most of the company in the market right now using ALM. Previously, they use HP Quality Center. Right now, ALM is a newer version of Quality Center. So I'm going to show you guys how to use ALM, uh, step-by-step process, how to use ALM from beginning to end. So first, I'm going to show you a document. In this document, I have few requirements right now, like 4 requirements and few acceptance criteria. I hope you guys know what is requirements. So I have, but I'm going to work on first requirement. I'm not going to go over all those requirements. So first requirement is a flight login, and description said verify that user shall be able to log in using valid username and password in flight application. I have few acceptance criteria. Username and password cannot be empty. Agent name must be at least 4 characters long. Password should be America only. Password should be encrypted. So those are the acceptance criteria I have for this requirement. So what is the process? Like if you get a requirement, you have to analyze this requirement with acceptance criteria to figure out the functionality of the application, how this requirement is going to work in the application. All those things you have to analyze first. This is the first thing you have to do as a tester. And then based on the requirement, you're gonna create test scenarios. So I have created test scenario for this requirement. So 2 test scenarios. First one is test scenario 001, valid login. Verify that the system should allow user to log in using valid username and password. So if a user insert valid username and valid password, the system should allow to log in. So this is my first scenario. So this is a standard way you can write scenario. And scenario 2 is invalid login. So in the invalid login, the description say verify that system should not allow a user to log in using invalid username and invalid password. That means if you insert or any user insert invalid username and invalid password or any of those invalid, so the system should not allow. So this is my scenario. And based on the scenario, because I have 2 scenarios, so I can create 2 test cases. I have to create 2 test cases. So I have positive test case, which is valid, and negative test case, which is for invalid scenario. So I have test case template ready. Look at here. I can give test case number 1, and test case ID I can give TC001, and requirement ID, this test case for requirement 001, I believe. Let me check again, REQ 1.1. So I'm gonna say REQ 1.1. Test scenario ID for this requirement. What is the test scenario ID? The test scenario ID is TS001. And I'm giving the test case name valid login, and I'm sorry, is the UI name, in which UI basically gonna work. So login UI, and application version is 1.1. Application, the date I'm creating the test case is February 8, 2017, created by John. Testing name functional testing, release number R 10.1, sprint 3, and what kind of test case is that? Manual test case. Those are the information you have to provide when you create a test case. Does not matter if you use tool or if you use spreadsheet like Excel sheet. You have to include this kind of information always. So now for step number 1, I said I'm going to work on flight application. So I'm going to open the flight application. So it's the Mercury Tours. I open the web based. So I'm going to open the client server based. So I'm going to go for the application start button, all programs, ALM, HPALM platform, and here is flight GUI. So I'm going to open this application. So this is the login UI, login application that I'm going to work on. So I said in the requirement that if you insert valid username and valid password, and then system should allow to log in. So what should be valid username, what should be valid password? I have to figure out based on the acceptance criteria. So agent name must be at least 4 characters long. So I can use anything at least 4 characters long. Password should be America. And if I type America, it should be encrypted. So I have two data right now. One is agent name, one is password. So I'm going to use agent name as America and password also America. Simple, right? So I'm going to use it. So right now, if I want to test this application, write it. If I want to write a test case, positive test case, how I'm going to write? So first I'm going to say open application, open flight application, and then test data, nothing. Expect result, I'm going to say flight application should be opened or should be displayed, whatever you said. Second one, I'm going to say, okay, insert agent name in the agent name edit box. And if you insert agent name in the agent name edit box, it should be displayed, right? So I'm going to say agent name should be displayed in the agent name edit box. And third one, insert password in the password edit box. And as per my requirement, it said if you insert password, password should be encrypted. So I have to mention in my expected result, password should be encrypted. Okay, so and then at the end I'm going to say, okay, click on OK button, right? So I'm going to say click on OK button. If you click on OK button, what should happen? You should log in successfully. So user should be logged in successfully. So in the agent name, I said insert agent name in the agent name edit box. So what agent name I'm going to insert? So in my acceptance criteria, it said at least 4 characters, anything. So I'm going to say, okay, 4 characters America. So 4 characters or more than 4 characters, at least 4 characters. And password, it mentioned in the requirement acceptance criteria, password should be only America. So I'm gonna say, okay, use America. So those two are my test data, because in testing time, I'm going to use those test data. All right, so this is my positive test case. I'm going to mention a little bit more thing like insert valid, because I'm doing valid testing. So valid agent name and valid password. Okay, so this is my manual test case. I can execute this manual test case, like I'm going to follow my test case and I'm going to execute. So first one said open flight application. Like right now I'm executing open flight application. So open flight application done. First one is done, right? So in actual result, I'm going to say as expected, right? Why as expected? Flight application should be open and it's open, right? That means as expected. And insert valid agent name in the agent name edit box, which is America, and agent name should be displayed in the agent name edit box. So let's do it. And it's displaying, right? So pass, right, as expected. So I can set this on pass, no problem. And then third was insert valid password in the password edit box. What's the password? America, right? And it should be encrypted. Should be encrypted. So let's see. And encrypted, right? It's also as expected and pass. So I'm doing manual testing, guys. Now click on OK button and user should be logged in successfully. So let's see. Click on OK button. So guys, project is created, confirmation is here, so I'm going to click on OK. So my domain is done, my project is done. Now maybe in my company I have a couple of people, like in my team, maybe 4 or 5 testers or developer gonna work, right? So I'm gonna add those people in the ALM administration side. So yeah, I'm gonna click on here again, guys. I was in site project, so I click on site users, and then I'm clicking on add new user. I'm gonna give a name like Harris. Normally they will fill up all those things. Right now I'm not gonna fill up all those things, just username is fine. Another user, Sammy. Another user, Robert. There's a Rena. All right, so I have right now a couple of users. Okay, so I'm not gonna do anything here. I'm gonna go back to the site projects. Right now my project is highlighted, project details here. I'm gonna click on project users, like how many people are gonna work in this project. I don't have any people for this project, so I'm gonna click on add drop down, add from the users list. I have few users there, so I'm gonna assign Robert in this project, Harris in this project, Sammy in this project, and Rena also in this project. So I'm gonna assign Rena as a project administrator. Remember guys, so for practice purpose, if you don't assign a person as a project administrator, you're not gonna have all those access for the other side, ALM platform. So whatever the user you're gonna use, you have to assign the person as a project administrator. This is for practice, but in the office, you're not gonna have the project administrator access. So I'm gonna assign Rena as an administrator because I'm gonna use Rena for the other side of the application, ALM. So that's all here, guys. So what I have done so far here: create domain, create project, create site users, assign project users, assign project administrator. That's all you have to do. All right, and then you can log out right now and you can close this application. Now I'm gonna go the other side, that the site gonna use by the testers, developer, business analyst, project manager, product owner, or architect. Everybody gonna use. Switch on the other side, all programs, HPALM platform, ALM platform. I was before in site administration. Right now I'm in ALM platform. Can you guys remember who, who is the user that I assign as a project administrator? Rena. So I'm gonna use Rena. It's a case sensitive. Whatever the name you give over there, exactly same name you have to give here. You cannot give lowercase or uppercase. Exactly you have to give Rena. And I'm going to click on authenticate. You see the domain and the project is auto populate here, and I'm going to click on login. Okay guys, so this is the landing page of ALM. Landing page of ALM. So I'm going to click on don't show this again, close it. Okay, so here you can see here for 5 different tabs: dashboard, requirements, testing, and defects. 5. In full version of the ALM you will see 6 different tabs you will see. So what is the other tab? Other tab name is management. Mostly management people will use the other tab. Okay, so total will be 5 tabs in ALM. So those tabs, few tabs has subtabs, like dashboard has subtabs. two subtabs. Testing has four subtabs. Defect does not have any subtab. Requirement does not have any subtab. But management tab, the other tab which is not available in this version, management tab has two subtabs, releases and libraries. Okay, two subtabs, releases and libraries. So right now by default I have requirement tab. So requirement tab is used for managing requirements or any user story or acceptance criteria. Whatever the requirements you have, you can manage in requirements tab. So let's work on the requirements. I have few requirements right now, but I'm going to work on the first requirement, right? Requirement number one. So as a tester, basically you're not going to create or upload any requirement. Basically, a business analyst works on the requirements tab. So in the requirements tab, the business analyst type or create or upload from spreadsheet to the requirements, um, all the requirements. As a tester, what do? You go to the requirement tabs and then you just read and analyze the requirements, including the acceptance criteria. You get idea of the application basically. You just analyze the requirement. But right now I don't have business analyst, so what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna upload requirements from Excel sheet to ALM. How to do that? So you in the real life you will have hundreds requirements. So requirements gonna be for different application, different functionality, different tabs. So in order to organize those requirements, you have to have a folder. So I'm going to create a new folder. So I'm going to give a name like login requirement. So this is just the folder, and under the folder I'm going to create new requirements. I'm going to give a requirement name should be short, like I'm going to say login in flight application. Okay, so this is just the requirement. After I click on submit, it gave me empty one to create another one, but I'm not going to create another one. So this is the requirement name. So if you double click again, it will open, and in the description I'm going to give the description of the requirement. And I have some acceptance criteria for that. Those are the acceptance criteria, right? So I'm going to copy those acceptance criteria and I'm going to put under the requirement. You can do all those things using rich text, or you can attach the whole document. Different way you can do it. Okay, different company they use different procedures. All right, that's all you have to do here, and then I'm going to click on OK. So requirement is good. So same way you can create multiple requirements. So if you want to create another requirement, you have to click on the folder first. You have to click on the folder first, highlight the folder and click on new requirement. It will add another requirement like ABC1. So same way ABC2. So you can create as many you want. Now I'm going to show you how to create sub requirements. So that means requirements under requirements. So if one requirement does not fulfill the whole thing, you could have sub requirement. How to create sub requirement? Then main requirement you're going to highlight and then click on new requirement. It's called child requirement. I'm going to say 1 2 3. Look, so it's a parent child relationship. So ABC2 is a parent and 1 2 3 is a child requirement. All right, so I'm going to delete unnecessary all those things. I have used those things for example. So you can create different folder. If you want to create another folder, you have to click on the root folder requirements and then new folder. So another folder is created. So This way you can create multiple folder, multiple requirement, parent requirement, child requirement, parent folder, child folder, and then you can do drag and drop. So folder under folder right now. Okay, you can do drag and drop. All right, few things here right now. You can see here direct cover status not covered. Not covered means this requirement does not have any test cases. So this requirement does not covered by any test cases. That's why I said not covered. Author is by default. Whatever the user you are using, the name is here author. And then requirement ID, you can see 0, 1, 2. So the ID is auto generated. Whatever the folder or requirement you're going to create, auto generate ID will be populated here. You can refresh the page using refresh button. You can filter, you can use different columns, you can add more columns, you can deselect more columns. Okay, you can do so many things. You can flag, you can use flag on or off to highlight the importance, and then you can just use the arrow sign to move requirements ups and down. There is attachment option, all those things here. Okay, and here is comment section, rich text, attachment, and history, who creates when, who changed the requirements when, all those things gonna be here in the history. All right, let's move on from requirements to testing. So in the testing, basically you have 1, 2, 3, 4 subtypes. Most of the time you're not going to use test resources and business components. So which one are you going to use? Test plan and test lab. Test plan is used for writing or designing your test cases. Okay, so you're gonna design based on your test scenario or requirement. You're gonna design your test cases in test plan section, and in test lab you're gonna use to execute your test cases. So let's move on to test plan to design some test cases for this requirement. So it's the same look. You have to create a folder, another folder, you have to create your new test. So right now I analyzed this test case requirement, and then I figured out I would have two test scenarios, and based on two test scenarios I figured out that I will have two test cases, one positive, one negative. So I have written the positive test case. So I'm going to do the exactly same thing in ALM. So I'm going to say create a folder name first. I'm going to say okay, login test case. This is a functional test case, so I'm going to create another folder, functional test case, and in the functional test case I'm going to give the login test case folder, so it's a subfolder. So first is a functional test case, and in the functional test case I said this is a login test case. In the login test case I'm going to create my test case for. So I'm going to give test case name like this one. I'm going to say it's a valid login. Test case name is valid login. Okay, and my another test case name I'm going to give in the login test case, I'm going to give invalid login. Okay, so I have two test case name ready. Now valid login, I'm going to design step-by-step process, like same step-by-step process I'm going to design there. How to do that? So you have to click on design steps. This is a pen, new step. Right now step number 1, I'm going to say exactly same thing, like a spreadsheet. Open the flight application. Expected result would be flight application should be displayed. All right. Second step. So I'm going to click on new step. So it will be second step. I'm going to say insert valid agent name in the agent name edit box. An expected result would be agent name should be display. Like if you type, then it should be display. Should display in the agent name edit box. And what agent name you're gonna type? I have test data, which is America. So I'm gonna say here, when I'm gonna type, I'm gonna say what to type. So what to type basically is test data. So I'm gonna say America. All right, next step, step 3. Insert password in the password edit box. And expected result should be password should be displayed as encrypted, and test data should be America. Step 4, I can say here, click on OK button. Expected result should be user should be logged in successfully. Okay, my all steps are completed. Now I'm going to click on OK. So I have step 1, 2, 3, 4. I have test data. Exactly same thing like a spreadsheet. Okay, same way I can do the invalid, but I'm not gonna write the whole thing for invalid. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy the first one, whole thing. I'm gonna copy and I'm gonna paste for invalid, and then I can modify. So you will know how to do copy and paste then, right? So this step I'm gonna copy, and then I hold the control button. I select my step that I want to copy, and there is a copy step, or you can right click and then copy, whatever way. So I can say copy step. I copied it. I'm going to go invalid. Right now I don't have any steps here. Paste. I can paste it. Done. So what I'm going to change, this is the invalid login, so I have to insert invalid username. So here instead of valid, I'm going to say invalid instead of valid password. I'm going to say invalid password. Okay, so invalid would be when the test data, I should put wrong test data, right? When it would be wrong. Based on my acceptance criteria, if I put anything less than 4 characters, it would be invalid. So let's put something like 3 character AMI. Okay, so it would be invalid, right? All right. And for the password, it said if you put anything besides America, it would be invalid. So let's put, instead of America, let's put London or England. Okay, and if you click on OK button with invalid username password, user should not be logged in successfully, right? Should not. Instead of typing the whole thing, I just copied and it's modified for invalid. You can do it. All right, so valid is done, invalid is done. Look, few extra things you should know here. If your any steps get messed up, like step 1 in second position and step 2 in first position, then you have to change it, right? You can just highlight this step, you can move up or move down, or you can drag and drop. If you have any problem like that, step 1 and then step 3 and now step 4, steps fine, but the number is problem here, like that. You can renumber it, okay? And you can delete normal way, and then you can change the columns, you can change the size of the columns. So like this one, this one, I can change the size of the column, or you can just do it like that. You can save it, but in ALM auto save, everything auto save. So I use test data in the steps. You can use this test data different way, using parameters. Parameters basically using the same script or same test case with different sets of values. If you use like that, so it's called parameter. So if I can use this test case, but I can use different value. So I clicked on parameter, new parameter. Now I'm going to give parameter name. First one is agent name, and value I'm going to say America. Second parameter I'm going to put password, and value would be America. So anytime the person will execute this test case, the person will use this value like username and password. So you can use in the step, or you can use in the parameter. Two different ways you can maintain your test data. You can attach, if you want to attach any screenshot or documents, you can do it. Now, I said in the beginning, in the requirement tabs, the requirement is not covered. Basically, if you don't have any test case, then requirement gonna tell you this is not covered by any test case. But right now, I have test cases, but still the requirement is showing not covered. I'm gonna refresh it. Still is showing not covered. Why? Because how the requirement will know that he has test cases? I have to tell the ALM, hey, tell requirement that the requirement has test case. How to tell that? Basically, I'm going to connect, I'm going to give a link between this test case and that requirement. Then ALM will figure out, okay, I got it, this test case for that requirement. So here it's called requirement coverage. That means you're going to cover the requirement with this test case. So I'm going to click on requirement coverage, select whatever the requirement for this test case, select requirement, and then here is the requirement tree. You have to expand the requirements. You see the folder login, expand the folder login, you see the one requirement, and then add to coverage. Coverage done. Now second test case has the same requirement, so I can say same requirement cover. Single test requirement could have multiple scenario, and multiple scenario could have multiple test case, but not a single test case could have multiple requirements. No, never. Okay, so requirement coverage done. Now I'm going to go to the requirements tab again. Still not covered, right? Refresh. Now status changed. Said no run. No run and not covered. Before it said not covered because no test case is there. Now it said test case is there but is not executed yet, because I did not execute it yet. So I have to execute those test cases, right? Okay, I said in the beginning, test lab tab basically used to execute a test case. All right, so I'm going to click on test lab. So you could have 10 test case, 100 test case, 200 test case. Doesn't mean that at the same time you can execute all the test case, right? You can execute few test case for this release, few test case for next release, few test case for next month, right? Okay, based on the timing, whenever you want to execute, you have to create the folder. So I'm going to create a folder. Hey, this folder for release 1. and maybe I can create another folder, release 2, and every release could have multiple sprint, right? So I can highlight the release 1 folder, I can create another subfolder, sprint 1, and in this sprint 1 I can say, okay, I'm doing a functional testing right now. For the functional testing, I'm going to use the login test case and I'm going to execute. So I can create another folder, name is functional testing. All right, so for the release 1 I have a sprint 1. In this sprint 1 I'm doing functional testing. For the functional testing, what are the test cases I'm going to execute? Those test cases I'm going to select right now. So there is a test set. Functional testing, maybe I'm going to execute multiple test cases, right? So it could be multiple test cases together is a test set. So I'm going to create the set first, new test set. I'm going to give test set name is login. So for login test set, I have two test cases. One is valid, one is invalid. So I'm going to click on execution grid. I have nothing in the execution grid because I did not select whatever the test case I'm going to execute right now. So I'm going to click on select tests. Here is the test plan tree and requirement tree, but I'm not going to care about requirement tree right now. Nothing to do with requirement. I'm going to do with test plan tree, expand the subject. You will see the folder functional test case is coming from test plan tab, and expand the functional test case, you'll see the login test case. Expand the login test case, you'll see the valid and invalid login. Let's move it here. Okay, I'm going to execute valid login and invalid login. So you can do drag and drop, or you can use the button. Right now I selected two test cases. Now I don't need this tree anymore. Close it. So I have two test cases in my queue. That means I can execute it right now. So I'm going to do manual testing right now, manual execution. So first I'm going to execute the valid login. I select the valid login, and then from the drop down run, I have two options: run manually, continue manual run. Whenever you're gonna run any test case first time or from the beginning, you have to click on run manually. If you run any test case from the middle of the test case, or maybe you executed 5 steps and you close the application and you come back, and then now you're going to execute from 6th, so you have to click on continue manual run. If you click on run manually again for that test case, whatever the 5 test case you have executed before, those everything will go back to the default mode. That means you have to start from the beginning again. So be careful when you click on run manually or continue manual run. So right now I'm going to execute this test case for the first time from the beginning. So I'm going to click on run manually. So this is the manual runner. This manual runner window we use to execute any test case. So I'm going to click on begin run. Here in the beginning is showing me, hey, you have two parameters, agent name and password. So whenever you need any value to insert, you can follow these things. This is just a reminder. I'm going to say, okay, I got it. You can see here those steps that you have designed. First step is said open the flight application, and expected result is said flight application should be displayed. So I'm going to open the flight application. I'm going to follow this one. Flight GUI, an application is displaying, right? So actual would be, this is my expected, and actual would be as expected. Second step, and first step, I can change the status from no run to passed. Second step, insert valid agent name in the agent name edit box. And what is the test data? America. Spelling mistake here. Anyway, America. And agent name should be displayed in the agent name edit box, and it's displaying, so I can say as expected. And status should be changed to passed. Third step, say insert password in the password edit box, and test data is America. Expected results said password should be displayed as encrypted, and it is. So I'm going to say as expected. Status should be changed to passed. The last one said click on OK button. User should be logged in successfully. Let's see. Let's try again. Maybe I'm typing wrong or something. Let's try again. Okay, I have tried 3 times, and 3 times I'm getting this error message. That means it's a valid defect. Okay, the first option is gone. So I have checked multiple times that defect is a valid defect or not. Second option is what? You have to check this defect is pre-existing defect or not. What that mean? Like you found a defect maybe yesterday or day before yesterday or last week or last month, someone found exactly the same defect and logged the defect already. You not gonna log duplicate defect, so you have to search in ALM that okay, anyone already logged this defect or not. Okay, so you have to check this defect is duplicate defect or not. Look, this is the defect icon. In the drop down you can click on new defect, and you can search similar or duplicate defect. You can search by the title, you can search by the title how many percentage match. If I don't have right now any defect listed, so it's not gonna come anything, but if you have a lot, you will have in the real life thousand defects listed. From the 1,000 defects you can type okay, login is not working, and then proximity match 25% search. You will see it's filtered and then showing you 10. Now you're gonna check those defects are exactly same defects or not. Those defects are still open or not. If not open, closed, and then you can log a new defect. Still open, then you're not gonna log a defect. Okay, so those are the things you have to check. You have to check this is a pre-existing defect or not, similar defect or not, or whatever. Okay, if not pre-existing, if not open, then you can log a defect. Now how to log a defect? You're going to click on new defect. Still I'm in the runtime, so this is very good idea to log a defect. Exactly, you find a defect, right away log the defect, otherwise you're going to forget later on. Summary, you see the red color highlighted. Summary, detected by, severity, detected on. Those are the option ALM said mandatory. You cannot go forward without or leaving any field empty, red color. But company to company it varies. Okay, because company can customize this application. Okay, so when you're gonna join a new company, company will tell you, or project whoever project manager or test lead will tell you, hey, those are the fields you must have to fill up when you log a defect. Or you can follow other defects that are already logged, okay, the other people or what they are doing. Summary, you have to give a summary, nice summary that gonna tell exactly what's going on, okay, because everybody, developer, testers, other test lead, project manager, product owner, they don't have even time to read your whole defect history, defect description. They're going to look at the summary, they should figure out what's going on, right? The summary should be real nice and clear. So I'm going to give a summary. First you have to say which is the location for the defect. So I'm going to say in um, login UI. So I'm giving the location first, using valid username and password. I'm getting error message in the pop-up window. So it's clear, right? In the login UI, using valid username, valid password, I'm getting error message in the pop-up window. Okay. Severity, I cannot log in, so I'm going to say urgent severity. And severity, basically how dangerous the defect is. Priority, priority is basically how soon the defect should be fixed. Okay, so I'm going to give urgent, and if test lead or product owner decided that no, it should not be urgent, we can fix it later on, they can change it, but based on the severity I can give my priority. Okay, I have checked a couple of times and the defect is reproducible. All right, status, right now I'm logging as a new status. Okay, and all the other things they will put it like developers, all the other people. Here I'm gonna put all those things in a little bit down. I'm gonna mention here what is the version of the application I'm using. So I'm gonna say application version 1.1. I will say um, step to reproduce. Very important thing, because you could have, right now I have very small test case, right, 3 steps. You could have 100 of the steps, and maybe 100 steps later you'll find the defect. Test lead or developer does not have time to follow your 100 steps to recreate this defect, so you have to give very high level step to reproduce, so anybody can follow those steps and then can find the defect, right? So this is a very important thing. You cannot even miss this part if you log any defect. Step to reproduce is must. I'm going to say step number 1, open flight application. Number 2, insert agent name as America. 3, insert password America. Then click on OK. Okay, now expected result is, because developer, they might not gonna know like what should be expected, right? You have to say what is the expected is user should log in successfully, and actual is getting error message in pop-up. What is the error message in I'm gonna put a screenshot. So that's all pretty much, and I'm gonna give another line. Please see the screenshot in the attachment. That means you are giving a screenshot. So you can take the screenshot. Right now in the attachment, if you click on the attachment, there is camera snapshot. You can click on the snapshot. This is the ALM built-in feature. You can click and like if you want to take this window or whole window, you can put it, right? So right now I'm going to take this window only. So look, it took this screenshot. I took this window, it took the other one also. Or I can do other way. Again, click and hold whole page. So right now I drop in the whole page is there, but I don't need the whole page, right? So I'm gonna click and hold and drop in login. So right now I have whatever the necessary steps here, and I can click on attach. It will attach. That's it. My screenshot in the attachment. All right. So this is the one way to use a screenshot, or you can use paint to make nice highlighting, or better way you can do it. Or in Windows 7, Windows 10, we have feature snipping, SNIPPING, snipping. You can use snipping tool also take a screenshot. So many different ways you can take a screenshot, but screenshot is very necessary. So two things very important: step to reproduce and screenshot. Very important. You cannot even miss. All right. So when you insert all the information and then you can click on OK, that means you just logged the defect. Okay, you just log the defect, and you can run. You can see right now whole test case fail. If one step fail in the test case, whole step is fail. Okay, now if you go to the defect section right now, you'll see that one defect is already listed. That means you just log the defect from the test lab during runtime. So you can log a defect from the test lab. You can log a defect in the defect section, like you forget to log a defect before. Now you can click in the defect, new defect. You can log it same way, but always better to log a defect during runtime, okay, from the test lab. So that's all basically you have to do in ALM. In the dashboard, basically you have to dashboard you use to maintain. Before I go to the dashboard, one more thing I'm going to show. In the test plan, you can see my valid login test case. This is a valid login test case, which is in the test plan. Test lab tab is failed. So test case failed means the requirements also failed. You can see no run was before. Now if you refresh, you see failed. Okay. So test step fail, that means test case fail. Test case fail means whole requirements is fail. Okay. Now dashboard we use to maintain our reports. Okay, different reports. If your test lead said, hey, can you generate a defect report, like how many defects you have, how many defects you fixed, all those report, you're gonna say, okay, I'm generating a report. And project manager said, okay, can you put in dashboard so everybody will see? So okay, so you see defect tab has analysis menu button. Testing also has, test plan also has analysis. Test lab also has analysis. Requirements has analysis. So every tab has analysis button. Using this analysis button, you can generate a report. Look, I'm in the defect tab right now. I'm going to click on analysis. Report. You can create regular report or graph report. Regular report has so many different kinds of reports. Standard report, tabular report. You can click each one and then you can see what is the difference. Okay. Normally people use the standard defect report. If I click on standard defect report, so this is the standard defect report, all information about the defects, and then step to reproduce, and then defect, what step is failing, and history. Everything is here. Okay, now you can save the defect report. Now, defect report, where are you going to save? Public or private? Private or public? Public means if you save the public folder, whoever used this ALM, like developer, tester, test lead, business analyst, everybody will see the report. If you put in private, that means only you're gonna see the report. Okay, and you can create a different new folder, different folders also. Okay, so I'm gonna put in public because I'm creating for my test lead. So I'm gonna save in public. Right now, look where is save. In dashboard tab, in analysis view, there is a public, and under that report is saved. So I created a report from defect tab and it's saved in the dashboard tab. So from any tab, if you want to generate any report, it will save in the dashboard tab. So dashboard basically we use to maintain or organized our different report, testing report, test lab report, execution report, defect report, requirements report, different reports. Okay, okay, one more thing I'm going to show you guys. Maybe you have the test case in your ALM, but your project manager does not have access in ALM. Now project manager want to see your test case. Okay, so how are you gonna provide to the project manager? You can export this test case to Excel sheet and you can give it to your project manager. You can attach it with the email, you can send it to your project manager. How to do that? So from test plan, you can select all the steps, okay, or you just highlight, don't do drag and drop. Here you can select and right click and export, and then you can save in your wherever you want, in Excel sheet or HTML or Word or text document, different way you can save. Okay, so right now I'm going to do an Excel sheet, so I'm going to say file name is valid login, and I'm saving in my desktop. Okay, save. Right now I'm going to show you guys how it's going to look like. Valid login. All right, you see step, name, description, aspect, result, everything here. So you can export from ALM to Excel sheet, and you can test lab, the test case, the failed test case you're gonna export. You can right click and export also. You can do this way. All test case I'm gonna export. I'm gonna say login and save it. Let's see how it's gonna look like. Login. So how many test cases you have executed, how many test cases fail, how many no run, all those things you can export. Okay, and same way you can export any report like defect report. So I'm in the defect tab right now. I'm going to click on analysis and then report, standard report, and this is a report, right? I'm going to export it so I can attach to with the email to my manager. So I'm going to click on save drop down, save all page, and I can save it. You can use web page, HTML, text file, different way. Okay, I can save it in desktop. So this way you can print or you can save it in your computer, you can attach it. So that's all pretty much in ALM, nothing much. So as a tester, what are you gonna do in ALM? Just a few things. You're gonna analyze requirements in the requirement tab. You're gonna design your test case in the test plan tab. You're gonna execute your test case in test lab tab. You can log a defect using test lab tab or defects tab. You can generate a defects report from defects tab analysis view from the analysis menu. You can generate test execution report from test lab tab analysis menu. You can generate test case report from test plan tab, analysis menu. You can generate requirements report from requirement tab, analysis menu. You can manage or organize your all different kinds of reports in dashboard tab. Okay, you can export your test case, your defects, your everything. You can export any report. You can import also. You can import test case to ALM from Excel sheet, but that part gonna be a little bit tough. Right now I'm not gonna include that part in this video. I'm gonna upload another video to how to import test case. Like I have test case right now in my Excel sheet, right? So instead of writing the whole thing in ALM, I can just import from Excel sheet to ALM, right? That's gonna be easier. So in the next video, I'll talk about that, okay? Until right now, keep practice on it, keep practice, okay? It's just about practice, not that much hard ALM, okay? Just practice, okay? Thank you so much and talk to you in next video. Thank you.